Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I'm going to bring a new perspective to your trading in your journey. I'm going to be showing you some things that I've been trading and playing around a little bit, and they are called the V and the A triggers. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples I traded today and just give you some education. All right, so if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. First and foremost, let me shout out some of my members here. Goofy, let's go, brother. What's going on? Blastoise, what's going on? Ramon, what's going on? Rix, what's going on? Mike in the building. Luke, Adriana, Trading Wars Army strong. Jonathan, what's going on, brother? Bad Indie, Trading Wars Army strong. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Harris, JT, Bimo, Harina, Monique, what is going on? All right. So this is a serious session. We don't have time to play around. So what we're going to do here is I want you to just get the pen and the pad out right now and let's get serious. So I'm going to just show you what I mean. I'm going to try to just take a box here and I'm going to show you about these V triggers and A triggers that I've been working on. So let me get a rectangle right here like this. Okay. So let's say this is a range. So this is the previous day's range. Okay, so we traded, we did something like this. Like this is what happened, in that day. We did something like this, and then we did something like this. Okay, so let's just say that's the price action on the day. That's how it looked. All right. Wait, can you guys hear me? Is audio okay? Hit me with a 1 if you can hear me right now. Someone said no audio. Interesting. Can you guys hear me? 1, please. Maybe you guys don't hear me. Oh, wait, you do. Okay. So this is the range. Okay, so let's just say this is the previous day's range. All right. So this is how we traded. And now I'm going to draw a few lines. So we have this line here. Let's make this red. And this line here, let's make this red. So let's just say something like this. Okay, so just using this chart as an example. So let's say here, because you saw support, you want to go short when it breaks this low. Okay, so you want to go short when it breaks that. And then let's say this one, because there was some resistance over here, you want to go long when it breaks above. And I'm going to show you some real examples after, but I want to explain the concept. All right, so there we go. Okay, so what can happen, and you'll see it today, is sometimes we will break through. So I'll put this in white. We'll break through your trigger long, okay? And then we can immediately come back and get stopped out. Like that's what you call a false breakout. All right? And we could do the same thing on the other side. We could break down and then immediately come back and get stopped out. And that's what we call a false breakdown. All right? How many times has that happened to you? Hit me with a 4 if that's happened to you before. Has that happened to you before? It happens to me all the time. So you have a trigger. You want to go below, short below, or long above. As soon as it breaks it, it just turns around on you and you get stopped out. How many times has that happened to you? Hit me with a 4 if that's happened to you. So this is where I came up with the V trigger. So the V trigger is basically you take your stop loss because you want to take protection. But the second time it comes back down, you're going to re-enter. Or the second time it breaks back up above, you're going to re-enter. And the concept behind it is this. If it breaks a second time of that key support level, it's going to have a stronger push. Not all the time, but generally, right? Because imagine we broke, we came back, and we broke again. So anybody that loaded up long here is going to be stopped out, right? And the same way for the short. Anyone that shorted up here, when we break above, we're going to short. they're gonna get stopped out. And this is the V. So you see this V, V, V. So that's what I call the V trigger. When you are re-entering on a position, so you get poked out, it's okay. It stops you, comes back, and then we reverse. Okay, so this is taking it the second time. And sometimes if you want to be extremely conservative, you can just wait for a V trigger instead of a normal trigger. So instead of the first time it breaks, wait for the second time it breaks to get it. And that'll give you a little bit more safety, but sometimes you will miss the move if it just continues to go straight down. Okay, so that's the V trigger. So hit me with the 5 if you follow me there. So the V trigger is saying when you want it to test it twice, you want to break the level twice, 2 times. If it can break the level 2 times, it gives you more confidence that it's going to break out. So that's a V trigger. So the way that I do it is if I get stopped out on a position and I want to re-enter, I just put back in the same trade again, right? I just re-enter the same trade. So let's just say you're doing here, you're shorting SPY 436 calls, okay? 436 puts, sorry, in this case. And let's say you're going long 438 calls. So let's say you break down, you pull back up, you're not comfortable, you cover your 436 puts for a loser, but then the second time when it comes in, you re-enter the position and this time it runs. Okay? Same thing here. We break, you got the 438 calls, we pull back, you're not comfortable, you take a stop loss, then it re-enters. All right, I'm going to redo it again, 438 calls. Boom. That is what we call the V trigger. So the next thing that we're going to do now is we're going to look at the A trigger. Okay. So the A trigger is this. If we break, okay, we poke out of the low, for example, but in this case, we go all the way back and break the high. What kind of bar is that going to form here? Let me test you guys. Let's see how much, let me see how much you guys pay attention here. Follow me. What kind of bar is this going to create? If we break the low and then we turn around all the way and break the high, what bar is that going to create? What do you guys think? Yep, that's going to create an outside bar. Exactly. So what we're looking for here is the outside bar creation, but that's the other side of the trigger. See what I'm saying? So if you try short, it doesn't work, but what if it comes back here? Can we try this one? You definitely can, right? So the risk reward is definitely good. It's not going to work all the time, but it's a nice way to get involved in a trade. So it'll be the same thing here. We break above and then we immediately turn down. But when we turn down, we break all the way back down. And that's where I came up with the A. So that's like letter A. Okay, it's missing the middle thing right here, but I don't know. I just got creative and I'm like, all right, V and A. Okay. So that's the A. And I did that on some trades today. And I'm going to show you guys how that went. So that's the V trigger and the A trigger. Hit me with a 7 if you're following me and having a good time. Anybody have a Hennessy out right now, or is it too early? You waiting for tomorrow? I might be a little bit busy this weekend, but I'm going to still try to do the streams for you guys. So I've been experimenting, risking my own money. That's how we do it, right? It doesn't matter. Like you can have a million back test, or you can paper trade a million times, but eventually, until you hit that real money, guys, you'll never know. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to show you an example now of how I played these triggers. And then we're going to go into SPY. We have to look at SPY. We had a great trading day in SPY. And then also we have some bigger picture outlook here on SPY. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is Riot. All right. So Riot. So this was Riot today. So let's hit the replay. Let's discuss Riot. Okay. So the reason why Riot was one of my picks is because we had a Nirvana. So the Nirvana is one of my trading patterns that I really like trading because it's very rare. And generally after the Nirvana, we get a lot of movement. So I was looking to play Riot today. All right. So the first thing that I got to do is I got to go to the trade plan and I got to show you my plan for Riot. Okay. So the same thing happened on AMD. It didn't happen on Nike. It also happened on Bank of America. I'm just going to go through Riot so we don't have to like spend all day here. But these trade plans I post the night before for my members, and you can just use these as automated trades. You could use these as guidance. It's something that I always look back to help my trades. So let's go ahead here and draw the entry points. So we wanted to get long on Riot at 1773, okay? And the short was 1688, okay? So let's do that. 1688. And the stops and the targets are also there. But for simplicity, let's just focus on the triggers. Okay. So you guys ready? You have your pen and your pad out? Hit me with a 5 right now. You got the pen and the pad out. You're ready. Let's do this. Okay. So first bar on the day, boom. So the first bar on the day, we get filled long. And we were up a little bit, but that didn't last long because the next bar came in and crushed all our dreams with the long. It crushed our dreams. So I took a loss straight up on there, right? There's nothing you could do about that. The trade looked pretty good, right? We got a nice reaction. Definitely looked like we were going higher. And then we just got stopped out. Okay. So now what do? Well, what I did today was I kept the short open just in case, because this is also a form of a bull trap, right? Because anybody that bought the highs, right, like we got in better than the person that bought the highs, but anybody that bought up here and then we turn around, they're trapped. And when you're trapped, there's two things you can do. You could take a stop loss, right? You could take a stop loss, or you can bag hold, okay? Let me ask you guys now. Hit me with a 1 if you would have had a stop loss. Hit me with a 2 if you would have bag held. Honest question. Honest question. Between me and you, I won't tell anybody. Hit me with a 1 if you would have had a stop loss on our stop loss. Hit me with a 2 if you just bag held and just hope for the best. I see some 1s in here. That's good. I see a lot of 1s. So you guys must be following me and honoring your stops. I don't see any 2s. Oh, I see 1. There we go. All right. So let's just say the bull did not have a stop loss. So where do you think their maximum pain is going to be? Where do you think their maximum pain is going to be? The maximum pain, right, is going to be probably the low of the previous day. Like that's where you would probably have your, okay, if it breaks this, I am done. You know what I mean? Like that's your maximum pain. So the idea here is that we turn around and this is my short, and I'm going to leave it open to see how we react and if we get a flush. Okay. And with these, what I like to do is this. If we break the level, if we don't flush within 2 or 3 candles, then we're probably not going to flush. That's the way I deal with it. So we could see here, boom, we broke it clean. So that gives me confidence. Okay. We broke it clean. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So this pullback's okay. We're retesting that. And then there we go. Beautiful. All right. So I was able to make this one, make back my loss on my long, just taking the short. Very nice. And I have the suggested stop losses and everything in here. But let's just, for simplicity, let's just say you're doing like lotto calls, lotto puts, as an example, right? So right here, guys, this creates an outside bar on the daily chart, right? So let's fast forward. So there's the outside bar. Okay. So that's what it is. Boom, bang, very clean. And if you want to be very technical, you can wait for the retest right there if you want. Personally, for me, I don't wait for that. I don't like waiting for retests because sometimes they just don't happen. So I'm always aggressive. So there we go. So this is an example of a trigger. So here's your A, like this. A trigger. Okay. So hit me with an 8 if that makes sense. And hit me with a 9 if you want to see an example of a V trigger. We still have to get the SPY. We're already 15 minutes in. I don't know where the time goes, man. When you're hanging out with your friends, you're having a good time, sipping on some Hennessy, it just keeps going and going and going. The time just doesn't stop. It's crazy. So that's an A trigger right there. And now we're going to look at a V trigger. There weren't any V triggers today from anything that I traded, but we had, and I'll just show you the profit on Riot. So let's pull it up right here. So in my net profit was $574. So when I played the long, this one, I lost 300 bucks. I lost 300 bucks on the long. And then when I got the downside winner here, my win was about 900, I think it was. I got to check that back. It was about 9. Yeah, I think it was about 900 or so. And then there's commissions and all that bullshit that, they got to take some of your money too. That's what they always do. Right. So you also have to consider your risk reward, right? So if I'm losing 300 on the long, I got to make at least 300 on this play or it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. All right. So in terms of a V trigger, we can look at MU from yesterday. MU is a good example. Okay. So let's say here, your trigger line for MU is right here. Okay. So let's pull it down a little bit. So let's say it's right here as an example. So we push up, you get filled, and then you get scared out by this right here. Okay. So this pullback here gets you scared. So here's your push up. Here's your push down. And then on the way back up to complete the V right here for this V, to complete your V, you re-enter again. That's an example. So that's an example of a V. So where you're retrying the same level again for another break. So it popped up, you got scared, whatever, you had a stop loss, you got out, but you can definitely re-enter on the way back up. So that's a V trigger. All right. There we go. Hit me with a 10. Hit me with a 10 if you're good. So that's A and V triggers. So most of the time I like doing A. I like doing the A triggers. And I've done 93 trades now. So I took a lot of trades today. I have about 93. And I am really shocked that my win rate is 78% now. I'm just shocked. But I don't know. I'm shocked. So I'm going to share that with you guys once the time is right and I finish the 100 trade challenge. I'm thinking about like some way to present it in a way that's nice and that other people won't copy my work and try to sell it to other people. Still thinking about that, how I'm going to do that. But anyways, let's continue. So SPY. All right. So let's start off with SPY. I'll talk about the trades that we took during the day. But let's start off with SPY back to the daily chart, right? So we've been talking about this since the weekend. We've been talking about the 618 from this previous swing high right up here. Okay. And we literally got the 618 today and we had a rejection. And that's why it's so important to have these bigger Fibonacci levels on your chart because there's going to be some kind of reaction. I'm not saying it's going to be the end all be all and then the market is going to crash, but it gives you an opportunity to play good levels. okay? And this morning, we took the opening range breakout and I thought that we had it like completely, but it actually decided to retest twice. So instead of getting the huge play, we only got one leg. I'm going to show you. But there we go. So the 618 is in action now. We have the short in the building. And now the question is, can the short defend this or not? And this is a very key time for the market because the algorithm is in there, most likely with this big push down today. So if the bear is not playing games, we need to see a new low tomorrow. And we need to make a new low as soon as possible. If we turn around and the bulls break through the 618, that'll be in a very bullish sign. So we'll see. So let's go to the 3-minute chart today and I'll talk you through my trades. All right. So let's have two lines here so we can follow along. We have the previous day's high and the previous day's low right here. I'm going to hit the replay and I'm going to walk you guys through. So SPY, my commentary in the morning. Okay. So the first thing is we saw in the pre-market that there was a lot of action and we were gapping up. So we already saw that in the pre-market. And because of that gap up, the first thing that I want to do is the 3-minute orb coming up here. Who's here? So we took the 3-minute orb short and I'm going to show you how I did that. So the first bar comes in like this. This is a nice bar because it has wicks on both sides. So that means that there's indecision because the buyers and the sellers are still battling here. You can see it in the wicks. So all we did here, guys, is we have two lines, put them in yellow, the low and the high of the candle. And what we're looking for is if it breaks the low, we're going to go short, buy puts, short futures, short shares, whatever you want to do, whatever instrument you choose. If it goes the other way, we're going to buy calls, we're going to go long. So we came here and we broke it immediately. Boom. Right? So that was a beautiful push right there. You could see. So my first target was 440. And then we just started flushing right after that. Boom, right there. So that's your money play right there. So that's about, 1 bar, 1.5 bars. If you tighten up your stop, that's easily 2 times your risk right there. And just covering is to the best we can right there. Because remember, you see this red line? This red line is the previous day's high. Okay. So of course there's going to be an attempt, likely. There's going to be an attempt from the bulls. They're not just going to say, especially with a gap up, they're not just going to not try. They're going to try, right? They're going to try to defend previous resistance, which becomes support. They want to try it. And there's their efforts right there. Okay. So then we pop back up here. Boom. So this is the part that I had a runner after I took some profits here. I had a runner left to take me for more, but this ended up getting out, making me get stopped out. Okay. So that is the reason why I wasn't able to hold for the bigger push. And you'll see that it came right after. So a little bit of market maker, fun things that they love to do. But after that, I was done, but there were still a lot of great setups. I didn't take anything else because I switched over to the other room, looking at some stocks. So we had right here, after that fake out on the 5, we had this outside bar. Okay. So we had that outside bar that broke above and then it came back in. So if you just took the breakdown of that outside bar, it'd keep the stop at the high of the day, you would have been able to get into that run. And then from there, guys, we had a very tight Fibonacci, a morning leg. It was very, very tight. And you have to be quick on this one here. We had this from this outside bar's high to the low right here. There was a 618. So nobody caught this that I know of. What is this? Message me and I'll show. What is this bullshit? The hell out of here, man. These scammers have no life, bro. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. I'm telling you, man. Might not be in this world, but you can't keep hurting people. Eventually it'll catch up to you. I hate these scammers, always trying to invade our education time. So there was a 618. No one that I know caught that. Maybe somebody did, but my brother didn't get it. I didn't get it. It was really, really fast. But there was some nicer plays later on in the day. We had this Holy Grail, and then this Holy Grail, and then this Holy Grail. So there was 3 Holy Grails on the day. That's my advanced patterns, and they did really well. This one was obviously the best. That took us later in the day. And this one was really good. I'm going to show you guys why. If we take the afternoon leg, okay, we take it from the high to the low. This is the afternoon leg, right? So we came up in a 618 here, and just waiting for, like, if you're aggressive, you just short on the 618. That's it. Like, if you're aggressive, you don't wait for anything. You just short. As soon as it touches it, you short. You put your stop at the high of the day if you want to be safe. Okay. But we had a lot of rejections here. We rejected once, we rejected twice, and then the third time we put in this Holy Grail. And that was a nice big rundown. And then after that, we had this inside bar, this one, really good. Like, I would say, looking at these bars, at least 50% of them were good winners. So you definitely had a chance to make good money today. But like I said, I just took the orb in the morning, and that was it. When you're up on the week, like, if you have profits, you don't want to overtrade. You want to protect them, and that's what I'm trying to do. As long as I can finish every week green, does a lot for your portfolio and does a lot for your confidence as a trader, and that's my goal. And you can definitely keep trading, trade all day long, but you will also get burnt out at some point too. So, if people do want to trade all day long, I always tell them, use the patterns that I have. Like, look at the Holy Grails, look at the fibs. Those ones will give you a fighting chance. Don't do anything that's dumb, right? Because you don't want to give back all your hard work. All right. So that was SPY today. Pretty decent. Hit me with a 9 if you got me there, if you follow me there. And then I think we took one trade in the midday room here, Comcast. Yeah, so we took Comcast today and got stopped out on this one just by a little bit. It literally just poked through and then popped up. So we're looking for Comcast long right on the 618. And you'll see we got filled and then we got poked out. The stop was at the low of the day. Literally, like, that's like a stop hunt. So we got stop hunted here in a pop. So it is what it is. It happens to me too, guys. It happens all the time. Happens all the time. So that one was a loser there. But yeah, otherwise than that was my recap. A lot of trades were logged today in terms of, like, if I add the triggers plus SPY plus everything, there was a lot of trades for me. And I like to diversify them. I had some shorts on, had some longs on. I went long on Nike. I got stopped out on that, but AMD shorted, Bank of America shorted, and Roblox, I shorted all 3 of those, and it did pretty well. And when you get to a certain level in trading where you have a good amount of capital and also a good amount of confidence in what you do, what you're really trying to do is just diversify, meaning you take good trades, you spread it out, maybe 5+ trades with your automation part of it, and then your live trades, maybe 1 or 2. And you do that, right? And that will help you to just make sure that, hey, maybe if I lose long on this trade, maybe the short on the other trade can win me back, right? And if you have good risk reward, if you take 3 trades and you have really, really good risk reward, if you win 1 out of those 3 trades, you should be able to be break even or profitable, right? If your risk reward is good. All right. So hit me with a 9. I already said 9. Hit me with a 1. I already said 1. Hit me with let's try something different. Hit me with a 1.1 if you had a good time and enjoyed the stream today. 1.1, guys. That's a very, very, we're taking it a little bit deeper now. We're going into the decimals. 1.1. Very, very dangerous. Yeah. And I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I have a few things to take care of, but I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today. I really hope you like these ideas that I'm sharing with you guys. All of these things that I talk to you guys about, I actually trade. I use my real money, whether win or lose. That doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is if I'm getting better every single day. If I'm not getting better every single day, then I'm letting my people down. I'm letting my community down. And that's something that bothers me. I must always try to keep pushing. So what we're going to do here is this. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Let me know which one of the triggers interests you the most, the V trigger or the A trigger. And maybe what I'll do is a little bit more of detailed video on the trigger. So let me know which one you like the most, the V trigger or the A trigger. I have a full playlist on fibs. Someone's asking about fibs. Listen, if you like what I do and you learned something and you made some money, check me out at tradingwars.com. This book is the best thing you can do for fibs because this is the first ever book that I wrote. I channeled the Fibonacci gods in this book. I'm pretty sure I did because sometimes I don't even understand how I wrote these things. So check this book out. And if you grab this book here, guys, you get 1 month for free in the room, which is a really good deal. All right. And there's my 3 books, or you can sign up for the rooms directly right here. If you're interested, you can trade with me live tomorrow. I can't believe it's Lotto Friday tomorrow already. It's just like been a crazy, like the time just keeps going and going and going. All right, there it is. Make sure you comment. Okay. It helps me. My views are down, engagement is down, everything is down, guys, but it's all good because we're still rising up to the top, guys. It's all good because you don't remember this. You reap what you sow. If you got the pen and the pad, you write that down still. You reap what you sow. And all the efforts that I'm putting in right now, guys, I have low views, low engagement, low everything, but it's okay because the universe is watching me. And the actions that I'm doing to help educate my brothers and sisters and to share my journey and be a better person every single day, it's only a matter of time until the rewards catch up. You see what I'm saying, guys? So one day, hopefully we reach some people that can help elevate our message. And at the end, it's just about teaching people risk management, probable trades. That's how we do it. Okay. It's not about making money anymore. It's about getting better. That's what it is. Okay. Thank you very much. Take care. See you tomorrow.